Okay, so I have another way of doing the character controller extension. So you may have, if you followed the video tutorial, you may have something that looks very similar to this, where we have an action listener, and it listens for fire one button and another fire button, and then it goes and does plays these animations back based on which button is pushed, and it waits for an animation event uh, in the animation itself to tell it when the action is done, to then reset the animator right over here. So let's take a look. Oh, but when you open up your scene maybe and play it, you'll get something like this where suddenly your character is stuck and can't exit the event, and your animation events get wiped. So let's take a quick look at that. Yeah, the animation events are gone. And this is a very, very annoying bug, but there's a way around it by solving this problem slightly differently. And that's with the uh, animator, or the FSM state synchronizer script. So when we downloaded the animator actions in Playmaker off of Ecosystem, we also got a script. So if you haven't done that yet, you're going to need the animator actions off of Ecosystem. So just open up Ecosystem and go to Animator and get this package right here and make sure that's installed. If you don't know, I cover all that in an earlier video. It's the first treasure chest video, preparing the treasure chest. So watch those again if you're not sure on how to get Ecosystem and get those actions. But in there, along with the actions, is a script, a utility for synchronizing the state machine in Playmaker and the state machine in Mecanum. So let's add a component to our character controller. So I've got the character controller selected. I'm going to go ahead and dock this up here for now. Got our character controller selected. I'm going to add component, and I'm going to type sync, and we have the Playmaker animator state synchronizing script. Close the arrow on the Playmaker FSM that controls the attacks. Expand that. Okay, and on the Playmaker animator state synchronizer script, we have a field for the FSM. Click and drag your FSM into that field, and that will synchronize the animator with this state machine. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to actually lay out our FSM in Playmaker to look like the FSM in Mecanum. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to make a state for each of these. State for airborne. State for grounded. And I find it just helpful to just lay it out in the same visual structure that Mecanum has. State for spellcast. And name them the exact same thing. State for crouching. And state for corkscrew kip up. Okay. So I need now, on my grounded, I need to listen, because if we look here at animator, when we're grounded, we can go from grounded to spellcast and from grounded to corkscrew kip up. So I need the actions for listening that we have here. I'm just going to copy these. Control C, Control V, and let's add these events. These transitions, I mean, sorry. Fire 1 and Fire 3. So Fire 1 is spellcast. Fire 3 is the corkscrew kip up. And we also need to set the bools for X and Y, which X is the spellcast, Y is the corkscrew kip up in my case. It'll be different for you depending on what you have. So we want animator set animator bool right here, sorry. And make 2 of those. The parameter we want to set is X, and the parameter we want is Y. And since we're grounded, we want these to both be false. So I'm going to copy the parameter X bool, copy it, and paste it on spellcast. Oops, did not copy that. Copy, paste, and I want it to be true when we're in spellcast. And I want to, I'm going to just paste here too, and then just change this to Y and true for the kip up. Now, we also want a weight on both of our actions, which is the spellcast and the kip up. And let's make this finished event. Add transition finished, go back to grounded. Same here. Go back to grounded. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to delete all of this here, including the listener. Delete that transition. Okay, so gets the buttons, sends events, wait, come back, wait to come back, and reset the bools when you go back. Okay. Let's break this window off over to the side. Alright, let's see what we got here. I'm trying to make all these windows visible so you can see how this synchronizes. Okay, so I hit play, and I'm in grounded in Mecanum, and I'm in grounded in my third-person controller FSM. I press X, I go to Spellcast, I go to Spellcast in Mecanum, and I go to Spellcast in Playmaker. Same with my corkscrew. Jump. And she's not diving in the air. Okay, can fix that real quick. So as you can see here, I've got the ability to do my corkscrew from when I'm in the air. So let's add these 2 actions, just copy and paste those in. And let's see if I get my ability to do that back. Yep, I can still do it. She still winds up landing on the ground, but that's okay. We wouldn't want her looking like she's doing a flip when she's in the air, but oh, she's doing a corkscrew kip up anytime she's in the air now. So that's annoying. Okay, let's take that out for now. And I'll take out the transitions for that as well, because that looks kind of silly and it wasn't working right anyway. Alright. And this is actually a much cleaner way of doing it than I showed you in the first video. So even if you're not having problems, I would consider switching over to this system, because you will eventually have problems with the way that that was set up. It wasn't the way that Playmaker was intended to work with animation events. But as you can see, this isn't too hard. It's actually, I think it's probably even a little bit easier, because you're not tracking things across, different well, sort of. You got the animator editor, the Playmaker editor, but you don't have the playmaker editor, the animator editor, and the animation editor all on top of each other. So I think this is an easier, better way to go.